up, guys?
Oh, hey there. I used to look at school like a full 90-minute soccer game. For 85 minutes, you're not really doing anything, and for the other 5, you're on the ball or doing classwork. I feel like T has a really good balance of the teachers giving you the information you need and then giving you the work you need to do in class. T has helped me to get to where I am today with my schoolwork, out-of-school activities, and helping me find who I am by pushing me to the breaking point. I don't think I could be who I am today if I went to a different school. An example of perseverance I have was when we went to 49er Farm. We were farming and getting food for people in need, and man, that was a hard trip. We were working every day and had to plant, pick, and help around the farm. They had some animals as well, such as cows and horses. I felt like I was going to pass out sometimes because it was so hot. We would start at 9 a.m. and get done around 4 p.m. every day, but I definitely feel like the crew got closer on that trip because we had to collaborate on making sure the food was clean and making sure it was safe to eat. I also feel like overall, the trips have helped me with my own trips with soccer. Recently, when I went to Costa Rica, I went with no family, and that's what T does so well. It makes you more independent on trips in general. T has also taught me how to do my work and make time for homework on my own schedule. Working in the class is fun though, because the teachers really help you with your schoolwork. There are less kids, so there's more one-on-one engagement. It makes learning a lot easier and more fun sometimes. It makes it easier to learn and be engaged in class so that the content the teachers are teaching you is better to understand and is helpful for the classwork. This contributes to the trust that the students and teachers have. They want you to do the best you can in school. When you miss some school, teachers like Steven, Nick, Liz, and Kimberly give you what you need to succeed when you're out of the classroom, so you don't feel like you're behind in school. These teachers not only want you to succeed in school, but know you have a life outside of school. This year, I missed more school than I usually do, but I never felt like I was behind at all. It has made me make some changes in what I do when I get home to stay ahead academically and not behind. An example of this was when I missed school for a month, and I had to keep in touch with my teachers and look at Blackboard to see what assignments were assigned that day. They gave me what they were doing in school that day and what they wanted me to do when I was gone, and even connected what they were doing in school and what I was doing on my trips. For example, I went to the National Slavery Museum, and I had to write about slavery and how it has evolved over the years. When our class went to Monterey Bay in 7th grade, we were rock climbing. And I'm not the best, but I had Taylor push me to try to get to the top. And he was helping me with where my next foot and handhold is. And I still didn't make it, but I think I got higher than I would have if I tried by myself. Middle school at T is really different than the public schools, with the trips to even the campus. We don't have a gym, so when we have a basketball game, it's harder for people to come and watch the games. And our campus is different because middle school and high school are together every day, so it connects the grades a lot better. When I walked into my first day of ELA, Stephen was all about the high energy, and we had a lot in common with sports, and that's what we talk about every day. With baseball to football to basketball, we would talk about it before class starts. About sports, I'm a big soccer player, and I'm a competitive player in anything I do. You see, I had a tournament down in Phoenix, and this scout came to talk to my dad. And I didn't really think about it too much, but little did I know this would change my soccer career forever. I was just down there to have fun and see where it takes me. Now, that same scout that talked to me and my dad after the game told us that she wanted me to come try out with the new team in San Diego. Now, I had no clue about academies at the time, and I didn't have much interest. So when I came back, my dad told my coach, and I was training with different age groups older than me and training a lot more than I normally do. So when the time came, I was really scared and was wondering if I was good enough to make the team. So when we made it to the tryout, everybody was from around San Diego. Now, there were some kids from Mexico, so that was really cool to play with kids from a different country, but a lot of the kids knew each other, and I knew no one there. So I had to break out of my comfort zone and try to get to know the kids there. T has made me less nervous in doing so because on our field work, we sometimes have to interview experts. I never really have been someone to talk to people I don't really know because I get nervous and thinking they don't want to talk to me or think what I'm saying is weird. But T has helped me get to a place in my life where I can talk to experts without being scared or ask questions on our tours. Anyways, back to the story. I didn't play my best there, and when they told my dad I didn't make the team, I was super bummed. And that was my first time I've really cried over my sport. Now, as the new season started with my club team, I was ready because I trained with a lot better kids than me, and I felt like I was better than the teams we played. Now, that season, we did not play the best, but I felt like I grew as a player as the season went on. And that summer changed my life. I was invited to try out for the West Regional team that goes to Florida in January, and the tryouts were in Salt Lake City. And it brings kids from all over the West Coast, from California to Oregon, Washington, and Hawaii. Now, I felt super ready and that I belonged there with all the training I did. And then, the next thing you know, I made the team. Now, this team I knew was going to help me get to where I wanted to be, and I felt it. So when I got back home, I started doing more training by myself and was taking solo training sessions with a keeper coach. Now, that was the turning point for me. I started taking this seriously and thinking this could be the rest of my life. When I got there, I already had some interest from the Colorado Rapids. Now, when I got there, the scout from the Colorado Rapids came to one of my games and talked to me after. But something I was not ready for was a scout from FC Cincinnati watched a game and wanted me to come train with their team. At this time, I didn't know about the team at all and started taking a lot more thought into what I wanted to do and if this was the right thing for me. It also helped keep my mind off stuff that was happening off the field and made me focus on more important stuff like my life ahead of me. Now, when I started thinking about all this is when soccer really became my home. And being on that field was the only thing I ever wanted to do for the rest of my life. And I knew if I made one of these teams, that's what I would be doing. Now, going into the tryouts, I started overthinking a lot, and that affected my thoughts on going there. But when I made it to the field, I let everything go, and that was the only thing I was thinking about. I feel like when I get onto the field, I just turn something off, and everything that I don't need turns off. Now, thinking about middle school, all the trips, and the people I met in my journey, it's all just a memory now. That book is closing, and a new one is starting, and that's life. Something I have learned is to live in the moment, because you never know when it's over. Something my dad said one time is moments can be captured from memories, but living in the moment is the only thing that's real. Now, high school is a really different place than middle school, with everybody being older or bigger, and a lot more kids in the hallways and bigger classes than I'm used to. But this school, I feel like, is really good at getting you prepared for high school because of how they teach you. They don't hold your hand the whole way. They give you what you need and see if you're capable of getting the work done. And if you need help, they can help you. Something I'll carry on through high school is the connections I've made with everybody here. From Liz Shepard saying, if you need help with your max next year, you can always help me. And Nick always having a great vibe. And James and me on my last camping trip, rolling in our tent and laughing the whole time. I'm always going to cherish these connections forever, and I will know that I have people here that are always here for me. Now, before I end this passage, I want to give some appreciations. First, to my mom and dad. You've always been there for my ups and downs and always supported me with my soccer travel and letting me travel some 4,000 miles to a different country. You're the real MVP. My grandma for always checking on me after my sports, and if it doesn't go my way, she always says it's in God's hands, or the Lord has a plan for you. And always being there, and always being super supportive and traveling to some of my biggest tournaments and being one of my biggest supporters. My sister, Anna, for always driving me to get ice cream on 9 p.m. on a school night and playing some fire music at the same time. Kristen and Chloe for always being someone I can go up to and not be afraid to talk to you guys about anything. And last but not least, all the teachers and staff here that have been with my journey here at T. This place will always have a special place in my heart. Thank you.